Hello there. So, I am very excited because this is the first breakdown of the first episode of Season 2 of Star Wars The Bad Batch. We have quite literally been waiting all year for this, so let's just jump right into it. So, the beginning of the first episode starts off with exactly how the trailer starts off. This is not a surprise at all because in recent times, Star Wars has been really building their trailers around the first 2 or 3 episodes of the entire series, of whatever series is going on. The Bad Batch are running away from this giant group of crab things with this story MacGuffin thing that they have. It's a crate. While Tech and Omega are pretty much relaxing on the ship, fishing, Omega is going through her homework, basically. Hunter is trying to get a quick getaway. We get to see Omega do some really cool stunts. And it's just insane how much older she already looks. I know this is probably maybe a year after the first season at the very, very most, but she already looks like she's 2 or 3 years older than when we saw her in season 1. I also like how they're really showing that she is growing, not only physically, but also she's growing in her mental state. You know, she's really becoming a soldier. She's not that little girl that we saw on Camino in the first episode. We get back to Sid's bar and we see a familiar face. AZ34211. There's no way I'm saying all those numbers. It's the droid from Camino. Alright, we all remember him. They have him waiting tables, which is kind of hilarious to me. They go into Sid's room, they see this weird lady from the trailer, and of course she immediately starts simping for Tech. Who would have guessed? She bosses Wrecker around a little bit and she leaves. Something I noticed about this scene is that there's also a Mandalorian helmet in the background, but not just any Mandalorian helmet. That is the prototype Boba Fett, which originally, if you didn't know, Boba Fett was going to have an all-white suit just like the Stormtroopers, until they decided just to put a bunch of random colors and throw a bunch of different stuff on him, and that's how the Boba Fett armor that we know and love became to be. But originally, everything was going to be white. Sid tells the Bad Batch that their next mission is on Sereno, which is Count Dooku's homeworld. It's also the place he has his temple. It's also the place where the Night Sisters almost went and killed him. At first, the Bad Batch were reluctant to go, then with like 2 minutes of convincing, they eventually agreed and they went. They kind of put special emphasis that even Echo agreed on them going, which is really interesting because Echo is a very interesting character in all of this, which I'm going to get into later. Hunter and Echo have a conversation about the future of the Bad Batch and what they're going to be doing. Clearly, Echo wants to be doing more, while Hunter is more concerned about Omega and her future. This is very interesting to me. Both are very, very important, but I just think it's a very interesting concept because they kind of can't get rid of her. They've already gone through that whole, I think it's better for you to go with someone else, and they've already gone through that. I don't think they're going to go through that again, unless it's with Boba Fett, which would be even more interesting. But the issue is that Omega can't do certain things that the Bad Batch and specifically Echo feel like they should be doing. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. They kind of have to make a decision on what they're going to do. If they're going to risk Omega's life by taking her on even more dangerous missions, or are they just going to focus on Omega and her safety? Echo says a very hurtful thing, Omega hears it, of course she does, and they just continue on. They get to Sereno and look out at the city. Echo mentions that they did the same thing to Camino that they did to Sereno, which is orbital bombardment. Try saying that 5 times fast. They don't have much time, so they immediately start their mission, which is really just stealing a bunch of artifacts and money, and they literally say shiny things. Hunter goes and sets up a potential diversion while the rest of the Bad Batch are, doing the rest of the mission, which is just stealing, like I said. A trooper almost catches them, and I got real Rebels vibes with them sneaking around, stealing stuff, and taking out guys without killing them. It really made me feel like I was watching Rebels again. I mean, they're made by the same guy, so is that really a surprise? The clone captain picks up on the fact that one of their squad members aren't reporting back, so he sends out a guy to go find them. Something I really like about this is that they're showing that the clones are smart. Something about Star Wars Rebels and a lot of the other stuff that they've shown with battle droids and stuff is that they're really dumb. We know the clones, and we know that the clones are very, very smart and aren't fooled as easily as droids or, mere stormtroopers. So I really like the fact that they're moving fast and they're just not dumb. Echo tells Hunter that they could use a diversion about now, and Hunter uses the diversion. A bunch of explosions happen in the clone's little hangar. Echo, Tech, and Omega end up getting stuck in one of the crates where they're stealing the treasure, and the clone captain orders the freighter to take off. Bad Batch get a plan to meet up while Hunter and Wrecker are on the run, trying to stay out of dodge from the clone. Tech, Omega, and Echo are in the crate and they eject themselves in the middle of the air. They fall down. End of episode. What'd you think of this episode? If I'm gonna be completely honest, I liked it just fine. I really like seeing the Bad Batch just, back in action. The action, in fact, was pretty decent. I really like seeing Omega and how she's kind of grown up some more, and she's not just a wimpy little whiny kid. I mean, she still has some of those tendencies, but of course, she is still a kid. But she's also becoming a soldier, and to be completely honest, it's just really nice to have the Bad Batch back. So I'm gonna give this episode about a 7.6. What about you guys? Rank this episode in the comments below. If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe and subscribe to my other channel, Stop Motion Commotion. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and that's all I got for you guys today. Bye.